Let me tell you a story. It's about a time and a place where real estate, politics, and geology all smashed into each other in the most unbelievable way. We're talking about Oklahoma City in the 1930s. Because right in the middle of the Great Depression, the ground under people's homes wasn't just dirt. It was a full-blown geological jackpot. So let's start with a question for you. Think about your own home for a second. What's its single most profitable feature? Is it the updated kitchen, the great location, maybe the curb appeal? Well, back then in Oklahoma, the answer was kind of shocking. It was the dirt. Or, to be more precise, what was lying about a mile underneath the dirt. This whole thing is about a time when your backyard could literally be worth more than your entire house. And that brings us to the absolute centerpiece of this crazy story. It's an oil well with a name I promise you will not forget. Petunia #1. Yeah, you heard that right. The most famous symbol of this entire oil frenzy, this massive boom, it wasn't some powerful oil baron or a fancy skyscraper. Nope. It was a humble little flower bed full of petunias, sitting right on the lawn of the Oklahoma State Capitol building. I mean, this quote just says it all. This tiny patch of flowers became, as our source puts it, arguably the most profitable landscaping feature in history. So how on earth was that even possible? The answer, well, it was all about technology, a game changer called directional drilling. See, instead of having to plop a rig right on top of the oil and demolish the Capitol building, companies could set up nearby and drill sideways, or at an angle, to tap into those massive oil reserves that were sitting directly underneath it. Pretty clever, right? And the result for the state of Oklahoma? Just wow. A staggering $4 million in royalties, and that's just from the wells on the Capitol grounds. Now remember, this is during the Great Depression. That kind of money was almost unimaginable. But to really wrap your head around that number, let's put it in today's money. That $4 million from back then, it's the equivalent of nearly $85 million today. All of it coming from oil wells drilled right under the state's own front lawn. Okay, so this boom wasn't just happening at the Capitol building. This black gold rush completely transformed the entire city, creating this totally unique economic bubble in the middle of one of America's darkest financial times. It's such a fascinating contrast to think about. You've got most of the country dealing with breadlines and total economic collapse. And at the same time, Oklahoma City finds out it's sitting on an ocean of oil. This discovery just rewrote all the rules of wealth and property overnight. All of a sudden, everything we think of as traditional real estate value became, well, almost irrelevant. Who cares if you have nice crown molding or a big porch? The only question that mattered was, did you own the mineral rights to the liquid gold flowing deep, deep beneath your foundation? But as you can probably guess, a boom this big and this sudden wasn't exactly a clean, orderly process. For a lot of regular folks, this chaotic rush for oil turned into an absolute real estate nightmare. Seriously, just try to imagine this. You're living in a nice, quiet neighborhood, and one morning you wake up to a 100-foot-tall steel derrick being built in your neighbor's yard. The noise is constant, 24/7. Oil companies are just ignoring zoning laws, and simple property lines are turning into these bitter, drawn-out legal battles. And the dangers were very, very real. The infamous Wild Mary Sudic well actually blew out, gushing oil and gas completely out of control. For 11 straight days, it sprayed this fine black mist over homes, farms, everything in its path. It was a terrifying reminder of the risks that were lurking right under the city. So the whole situation was just spiraling. The greed, the noise, the danger, it was all building to a climax that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a movie. The state government realized it had to step in, and in the most extreme way you can imagine. Governor Alfalfa Bill Murray decided enough was enough. To stop the chaos and, let's be honest, protect the state's own valuable oil interests, he took a step that was basically the ultimate form of HOA enforcement. His plan was blunt and decisive. Step 1, declare martial law over the entire drilling zone. Step 2, deploy the National Guard. And Step 3, use those troops to physically secure state property. And finally, bring the wildcat drillers under control. So the derricks on the Capitol alone are long gone now, of course, but the legacy of this absolutely wild era, it's baked right into the legal and physical landscape of modern Oklahoma City. You can really draw a straight line from the past to the present. That whole practice of severing mineral rights from the surface land, it started back then, and to this day, many homes in Oklahoma City still have severed minerals. The chaos from unregulated drilling, that led directly to the city's super strict residential zoning laws. And disasters like the Wild Mary Sudic, well, that's why environmental disclosures are now a standard, non-negotiable part of pretty much every real estate contract. And this wasn't just some weird historical footnote. The immense wealth that came from this oil boom created the tax base that literally built the city we see today, its schools, its roads, and its entire skyline. The history of Oklahoma City is, in a very real way, buried right beneath it. And it kind of leaves you with one last thought. What stories, what conflicts, and what hidden value might be buried just waiting to be discovered right under your own feet?